Hello everyone, Amod here from Retarget Common YouTube channel, and I'm here with another important topic in this episode. So in this episode, we can measure the response time. Okay, so before we go and extract and measure the response time of API using this episode, let's understand what is response time. Okay, so in simple words, like we have an API, and when we hit that API, it might be any API, that post, put, get, delete, whatever it is. When we initiate the process, right? Like in post, when we click on send, means we are initiating the process. In this method also, when we write the script, that means when you call the static method like post or get, so that time we are actually hitting the API. So once we hit the API, it goes to server and there's some calculation will happen. There will be some database entry will be made and we get the some response back, right? So the time taken between these two process or these two events are actually response time of an API. Okay, response time will not be calculated like if you're taking time to create the body and or no. Response time will be measured when you hit the API and we get the response. So that is the actual response time of your API. Okay. And if your response time of an API is lower, okay, then obviously the performance will be much better. When they integrate, when the developer will integrate those API to UI, obviously the UI performance will be also faster, right? Because UI performance also very much depends upon the the response time of backend APIs, correct? Okay, so I hope we are clear with the response time now. And DSSO provides a very good way to extract and even put some assertion or validations on response time. Okay, so in this particular tutorial, we are going to learn how can we extract the response time in seconds, in milliseconds, and how can we put some assertions as well. Okay, so let's directly jump to Eclipse and write some code. So here's Eclipse, and let me add one new class called major response time. Okay, so because we already know how to hit the API, and also let me copy the code from create booking. Okay, did we, let me where is that create booking, right? So what I'll do, I will copy this particular lines of code from here and I will directly use for extracting the response time. Okay, so let me put the main method only, so this will not be any issue. Okay, so here's the code. And what I will do here, I will put the log all. Okay, and then what I will do, I will just simply extract, or I don't want to print anything. Okay, so what I will do, this much only till then. Okay, so we know that till then we can get the response at as a validatable response, right? Okay, just to summarize this particular request, so we are simply hitting one create booking API, which we have seen in my previous example. Okay, and after calling the post method, we are simply getting the validatable response. Okay, if you don't use the then we'll get the normal response, right? But I want to put some assertion and all. That's why I am calling then method so that I can get this validable response. Okay, after that after that or let me do one thing, let me go for the response itself. Okay, response. Okay, so what I will do, I will simply remove this dot then method. Okay, means we're calling the API, so we know that whenever you call any HTTP method, okay, so we'll get the type response. Okay, so let me import it. Okay, once you got the response, okay, we can always get the time from here. Okay, response time. So in response interface, okay, we have one method called time. Okay, one method called we have time. Okay, so if you see the return type of this method, it is a milliseconds, right? You can see the description, the response time in milliseconds. Okay, so let me print this one. And the return type is long, right? So let me put long response time in milliseconds. Okay, ms. Okay, after that what I need to do, let me print it. Okay, so sys out response time in millisecond. Okay, and let me put some text as well, like response time in millisecond. Okay, just to okay, so let me run this program. Okay, we can see the response that we're getting in millisecond 3602. Okay, now I don't want to get the response time in millisecond. I want to get the response time in seconds. Okay, or some different time unit. So what we can do, we have another method. Okay, we have another method, response dot time in, right? Time in, where you can see it's a taking a parameter of time unit. Okay, and you can see the description as well, like the response time in the given time unit. Okay, so by default you can get there one that method which returns you in millisecond, but I wanted some different format, a different time units, and you can use this time in method. Okay, where to pass the time unit. Okay, time unit dot like days, hours, whatever you want you can use. Like suppose I want in seconds. Okay, so let me put in seconds. Okay, and you can see the time unit and enum. Okay, and let me put long response time in seconds. Okay, so let me print this again. Sys out response time in seconds. Okay, so response time in seconds here. So this is the way you can extract the time in millisecond. So there we have that method. Or if you want to get the response time some different time unit, you can use the time in method. Okay, so we can see in millisecond 3415 and in second it's 3. So once 1 second equal to 100 sorry 1000 millisecond, right? So that's why 3 into 3000. So in millisecond you are getting the exact time. Okay, but if you're using the response time in seconds, so it will be rounded off. Okay, so it is always good to get the response time in milliseconds so that you can actually measure it how much fraction of second it is taking. Okay, so okay, perfect. Now these are simply where extracting the response. Sorry, response time. Okay, so before that, we have one more method. Okay, to do the same things. Okay, but that methods are just more readable compared to these methods. So means we have response dot. If you type response, simply type time. Okay, so you see two methods also, get time and get time in. Okay, so actually this get time is similar as time, and this get time in is again similar as time in. Okay, so this get time and get time in method is just good in readability. Okay, if you call this method, it will be similar, it will give the similar output as time and time in. Okay, so because there are so many what do you call that? They have very so many give so many methods, right? Where they have the better name, but they are performing the similar actions. Okay, so if you call this method, so let me what can I do? I will copy this particular statements. Okay, and let me call get time method this time. Okay, so I will simply change the name, and here also get time in. Okay, get time in. So let me put ms1 and okay. So the first example will be using the time method and time in method. Another will be get time and get time in. Okay, so let me change it here as well. Okay, so you see there's no difference in the output. These are just the these methods just have the better readability. That means you are getting some time. That's all. Okay. So you can see it's same, right? 3512, 3512, and then 33. Okay. So these are just sugary methods. Means the more readable method they are provided. Okay. Now the major part comes. Just extracting the response time will not be meaningful at least in automated testing, right? So we need to put some assertions. Okay. Assertions means we need to verify. Suppose we have requirement like all the APIs should give the response within 5 seconds, or the response time must be greater than 2 seconds. Okay, or maybe some in between, right? Greater than 2 seconds and less than 5 seconds. Okay, so this type of SSO we might need to do for the response time. Okay, so these assertion we can easily do using the handcrust measures, which is coming by default or integrated with the recessive. Okay, so let me go and write some lines of code using handcrust so that we can put some assertion as well. Okay, so what I'll do, we have response already extracted. Okay, in that we have then method. Okay, then method, then we have like suppose um, okay, so suppose I want to verify that response time must be less than 5 seconds. Okay, so what I need to do, we can call the time method, right? Okay, from here, because whenever you are doing this then, okay, so we get the time method. Where in validable response, we have the time method. In this time method, what we can do, we can put some assertions. Okay, assertion means we can put some hamcast matchers. Okay, so let me import matcher. Okay, it will come matchers. Okay, hamcast. In this one, we have method called greater. So less than, right? First less than what I want, that my response time must be less than 5 seconds. Okay, so whatever you are putting, that should be long. Okay, so 5 seconds, so that means we need to put 5000 millisecond. Okay, and since it takes everything long, so we need to put L. Okay, so what we are doing actually, after calling the then method, we have another time method. Okay, this time method takes one, you can see matches, it take the matches. Okay, means what SSO want to put. So here we are checking this, my response time must be less than 5 seconds. Okay, so let me run this one and see the output. Okay, so anyway, I think it is less than 5 seconds only, it will pass without any issue. What I will do, I will change it to 1 second. Okay, I'll change to 1 second and let's see what is the output now. Okay, so it failed, and if you see the message console log, you can see here expected response time was not a value less than 1 second, right? Okay, so they are converted to millisecond. We are passing millisecond, but was something like 3419 milliseconds, right? So this SSI, it's working here. Okay, we can see the proper error message as well, right? We are expecting that response time must be less than 1 second. Okay, but it was 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds. Okay, in similar fashion, you can put the assertion for some. like suppose I want to check that my response time must be greater than 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Okay, same thing you can use in the response dot then. Okay, then we have method called time. Inside this matches, again matches, remember it is coming from ham crust. Okay, matches greater than, okay, so 2 seconds, so actually 2000 milliseconds. So here in this it will check whether my response time is greater than 2 seconds or not. Okay, now actually Hemkes is very rich in assertions. We can even do, if suppose I want to put within a range. Okay, or suppose I want to put some multiple conditions. Okay, so just to show you some little demo, what I want to do, I want to check my response time should be between 2 to 5 seconds. Okay, so what I can do, response dot then, okay, then uh, time. Okay, time. Inside this we can call both method. Okay, so which is coming from matches, again matches dot both. Okay, what we can do in this one, we can put some two conditions. Okay, so what condition we're going to put, that my response time should be greater than 2 seconds and less than 2 seconds. So for that what I need to do, again same line, matches dot greater than some 2 seconds. Okay, and and after we finish here, so let me go in new. Okay, sorry. And okay, another matches, like I want to put the response time should be less than 5000 milliseconds. Okay, so let me put in multiple lines so that you people can see it. Okay, so what I have done here, I have put two, I want to put two assertions, right? So simply in the time method, we're calling both. Okay, so this particular both method will, uh, we can pass two checks. Okay, two assertions. So what assertion we are passing? First assertion will be like, I want to have like my response time should be greater than 2 seconds. And okay, and because we are using both here, right? That's why we need to pass multiple conditions here. Right, two conditions and this one. Okay, where we are pushing that, we are saying that our response time must be less than 5 seconds. Okay, so let me run it now. So there are so many assertions in Hemcast, and hopefully we'll learn a lot. Okay, so I think everything is passed and there's no error. Okay, and just to make you understand this, suppose your assertion is failing at this line, so obviously it will not proceed for the next line. Okay, it's nothing like all the assertion are independent. No, if any assertion is failing, so it will not go for further assertions. Okay. Okay, so I hope this should be clear for you. And you may think here like whatever the assertion we are putting, that we are putting only in milliseconds, right? So actually milliseconds, asserting response in milliseconds is always good because you can go for some exact matching, we can get some exact timing as well. Okay, so but it's not the case that you need to use always millisecond. You can use some different time units as well, like here in the above lines of code we are extracting the response time in seconds, right? And we can change whatever time unit you want. Similarly, we can assert the response in some different time units as well. Okay, so if you type response dot then time, right? So you can see there's another overloaded method, okay, which takes two arguments. First is matchers, another is time unit. Okay, so this allows you to use some different time, different what do you call that, time unit with this. Okay, so what you need to do, simply matchers, okay, matchers coming from ham crust matches less than, okay, 2 seconds, right? So simply pass 2, and since this takes everything long, everything the format is long, type is long, so we need to put L. Okay, then you can put the time unit as time unit. Suppose I want to do the values in seconds, right? So I put the seconds. Okay, so what I've done, I'm asserting something, like I'm asserting the response time in seconds now. Okay. Okay, so if I remove this one, right, you can see if I remove the L, so it is giving me an error. Okay, and if you can see, it gives that you can see the generic, right, matches long. So whatever numbers we are providing, that should be in long format. Okay, so to make some number in long, so we need to put L. Okay, that is Java concept. Okay, and you can assert the response time in different time units as well. Okay, and hopefully it should work fine. Okay, so some assertion got failed, and you can see, okay, yeah. So why we have put the value less than 2 seconds, right? But what happened actually, you can see the message was also sending, right, 2 seconds, but it was 4049 milliseconds. Okay, in the bracket you can see how much second it is, right? 4 seconds. So we're expecting that response time should be less than 2 seconds, but it was 4 seconds. Okay, so we can get the response time in, by default we can get the response time millisecond. We can get the response time some different time it as well, because there are some overloaded method to do that one. Okay, and even we can do the assertion in millisecond and assertion in some different time it as well. Okay, so that's it for this particular video, and we'll meet with another topic of this assured in next video. So thank you everyone.